Hello children, a warm welcome to all of you in my channel. On your request, I will be doing the literary devices and the critical analysis of the poetry Bangle Sellers. You can find the detailed description of the same poetry in my previous video. Now the first figure of speech used in the poetry is a metaphor. Refer to the poetry. Rainbow tinted circles of light, shining loads, and lustrous tokens of radiant lives. These three lines are the perfect examples of metaphor in the poetry. Now, what is a metaphor? You can get a detailed description of the figures of speech in my previous videos also. Now, metaphor is a figure of speech in which a comparison between two different things is implied but not clearly stated. Now, here in this poetry, rainbow tinted circles of light, shining loads, and lustrous tokens of radiant life. These three lines are compared with the bangles, though not clearly stated, but comparison is there between two different things, and therefore it is a metaphor. The next figure of speech in the poetry is a simile. You can see the following examples of the simile. Silver and blue as the mountain mist, some are flushed like the buds that dream, some like the flame of her marriage fire, some are like fields of sunlit corn, like her bridal laughter and bridal tear. Now, simile is a figure of speech in which a likeness between two different things is stated. It is a poem that runs on a series of comparisons between different colored bangles to different aspects of human life. Now, always remember, when we have a simile in a poetry, that line will have the key word of like, and as. You can see the following 5 examples has the key word of as and like, and therefore those are the similes. We are comparing the likeness of two different things. Alliteration. Some are like fields of sunlit corn. You can see the alphabet S is underlined and the sound sir, the sir sound of the consonant is repeated. Alliteration is the close repetition of consonant sounds, usually at the beginning of the words. You can find alliteration throughout in the third stanza of the poetry. Some are like fields of sunlit corn, meet for a bride on her bridal morn. The sound of b is repeated in the second line. Some like the flame of her marriage fire, the sound of f, or rich with the hue of her heart's desire, the sound of her, tinkling, luminous, tender and clear, the t sound of t, like her bridal laughter and bridal tear, the sound of b. Wherever we find the repetition of consonant sounds, usually at the beginning of the words, that is an example of alliteration. Now coming on to imagery. Now what is an imagery? Imagery refers to words and phrases used to help the readers to form images that focus on their senses such as smell, touch, sight, hearing and taste. The most prominent imagery in this poem is no doubt the visual imagery presented by the use of color symbols. Now what are the use of colors? Silver, blue, pink, green to represent maidenhood, yellow, orange and red to represent a bride, purple and gold for motherhood and matriarchy. Description like flushed like buds that dream on the tranquil brow of a woodland stream clearly paints an image in the reader's mind. So we can see that the auditory imagery is also found in the words and phrases like tinkling and bridal laughter. What is auditory imagery? That we can hear. Now when the bride walks, we can listen to the tinkling sounds of her bangles. So this is a perfect example of the auditory imagery. Symbolism. Bangles are associated with different phases of women's life. Now maidens, when the maidens wear the colorful bangles, it is the symbol of purity and innocence. The color of the bangles which a bride wear is the symbol of her dreams, desires and hope. The middle-aged ladies or the matriarch, the color which they use in their bangles is the symbol of pride and honor. Now, what do we mean by bridal laughter and bridal tear? The bride has mixed feelings. She cries while leaving her parents' house and is also happy to start a life of her own, and therefore she is laughing. She is very happy. Here, the bangles are described as tinkling, luminous, tender, and clear. So, as I told you earlier, that is an example of imagery. Now, what is bridal tear? Bridal tear means she is leaving her parents' house and going to enter a new family. She is sad. Therefore, a bride has a mixed feelings. She is happy to enter a new life and also she is sad to leave her parents' house where she had been living so long. Now you might ask, how is the poem relevant in the contemporary world? The poem has no contemporary relevance. Why? Because in India we have a patriarchal society. What do we mean by patriarchal? That is a male dominating society. Therefore, this poetry has no relevance. Another point is independent working women are not taken into consideration here. Nowadays, we find that working women who are independent, they rarely wear bangles. Then how can this poetry be relevant in the contemporary world? So we have two reasons why it is not having any contemporary relevance. One is the male dominating society. The second is the independent women are not taken into consideration here. I hope children this video will be useful for you. Do not forget to like the channel. Also do subscribe to it and share the same to your known acquaintances. And keep watching my channel for the latest updates. Thank you and God bless you.